Okay, last video of today. So I have squared this off. It's now nice and straight and it's right angles, and I have cut some binding. Now this isn't bias binding because it's not cut on the bias, which is the diagonal. So in this the threads are still going straight down and straight across, so there's no give in this. If you try and go around a corner on a curve with this, you'll get wrinkles and lumps. So if you're going around curves, use bias binding, which is where you cut the fabric diagonally and you get your strips from the diagonal cut. That's the bias. This is what I'm using today because we're not going to go around corners, we're going around curves, we're going around a corner. And I'll show you how to do that. So first of all, I'm going to make my strips a bit longer. So I'm going to sew them. We could just sew them straight across, but then you end up with this bulky bit here that you're trying to then fold over, and it all becomes very thick. So we're going to spread the bulk by sewing on the diagonal. So put them right sides together at right angles, and then we're going to sew from corner to corner. Okay, I say me, I'm going to do it, and hopefully I'm going to do it right. You can draw lines if you want, you don't have to. I'm going to eyeball it and we'll see where we go. Now, so look at this. Et voila. And we're going to cut off this little triangle bit here. And we are going to open out the seam. So if you open out the seam, then you're spreading the bulk even further. So now we have this relatively slim bit that when we fold it on over in itself, the bulk is being spread. So I'm just going to see, do I have enough to go around this quickly? I might add another piece onto this just to be sure. We probably have enough. I'll just add one piece just in case, and then I'm going to do a bit of folding. I'm going to turn down one edge. Now you can get do I have any of them here? You can get little pieces of kit where you can feed your fabric through and it'll fold it into a bias fold, which is folding in the edges. And that's very handy, and you just feed it in and then pull the fabric through it and iron it as it comes out, and you get your lovely bias. If you want to, you can just get your iron out and do it manually, just folding in the edges yourself. Manual, I'm doing that again because my machine decided to chew up the thread and I don't want it to come apart. So there we go. But I confess I like freewheeling it a bit. It just seems to work out more neatly for me if I have just one fold. So I'm going to start here, and I'm just going to fold in one side. And these cottons take a fold really well, so you don't even need your iron. You're just going to give it a finger press all the way along, and that is going to be the piece that goes under your fabric. So all the way along, just a quick, it doesn't take very long to do, but then again, this isn't a very big piece. I am using a piece of cloth that is 1.25 inches thick, which will give me just about kind of a 1/4 inch either side, top and bottom, of my piece. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just pick a point. I'm actually going to cut this diagonally as well, and I'm going to just turn it in, right? So now pin or two to help along would be great. So just pin in here, and we're just going to do up to a corner, okay? And then we're going to stop, and we're going to see where we are. So I'm just going to start here. I've left my walking foot on. I don't know if you can see that, but excuse me. I left my walking foot on because I'm sewing through a lot of layers, and I'm just going to start in here about 1/4 inch in, and I'm going to crease my stitch together. So I'm going to take out my pins as we go. Yeah. So we're going to sew to a 1/4 inch from here. Now you can measure in a 1/4 inch and put a pin there. There we go. So we're going to sew to there, and we're going to stop. And then off we go. I'm going to do a little back stitch. Okay, that is that. Now we're going to go around the corner. We are going to take our fabric. We are going to fold it up out of the way, and we're going to line the edge here. So we're going to fold it 45 degrees and line this up here. So now we've got this fold going on here, and we are going to feel down to where the edge is, and we can kind of feel it's here. So we are going to start 1/4 inch and stay away from just nudging the edge of that fold. It's a bit tricky, I'm not going to lie, and you can get it right and you can get it wrong, and sometimes you overshoot and sometimes you undershoot, but it takes practice. You get out of practice and you swear a lot. And you vow you're never going to touch this method again. And again, we're going to go 1/4 inch in and mark it and just go as far as there. A back stitch. And we're going to hope that we're picking up all our fabric all the way around. Yes, we are. And we're going to do the same again. I'm feeling I'm a little shy of my 1/4 inch. Look, that's way shy. So I'm going to do another couple of stitches. Now, and you can do that. You can check it and think, oh my goodness, that'll never stretch. I'll have a big hole. You can go over it. So now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to fold it up. We're going to put a pin in here along the line, and we're going to, now we're coming over this seam mark, so we're going to make sure that this stays flat as we're sewing. So off we go again. I do, you know, I'm on camera, I'm not swearing now, but this is not something I'm particularly mad about doing. The back stitches, and off we go again. Eyeballing this one might be better, might be closer to the mark. And I've only got 2 more of these corners to do. Thank heavens. Thank heavens. So again, we've got our 45, got this. I'm just going to put this down here to mark. I find it helpful if I mark where the edge is. That, and then I put my needle down, and then I move my pin. So there we go. Okay, I think we're okay. We'll find out. Well, no, I didn't need it at all, so I'm going to... There we go. Now, well, better to have it and not need it. Better to be looking at it than looking for it, I say, in this neck of the woods. So, again, I'm going to fold this down in getting ready for this to come down here. So we're going to put a pin here. And we're going to put a pin here. And we're going to do our last bit of sewing here. Put back stitches. Now, and we'll see how well we did. I always envy these demonstrators who, I say it with the knowledge that they're going to be brilliant. So we fold it over, we open out the corners, and we see, and look, we have little mitred corners. And as we ease them over gently, you can see you got your little mitred corner here. We're going to ease this over gently. And there we go. So now we are going to, using the fold, we're going to fold it over, and we're going to make sure it covers that stitch line. And making sure it covers the stitch line, we're going to put a pin okay, we'll have this nice edging to it, so I'm just going to fold in the corner, fiddly fiddly, fold it over here, and fold it and chuck it in very neatly and fold it down. And voila, we have another neat corner. Just make sure that we definitely cover the stitch line. So I want to put pins in all of these. So I'm going to pause this while I do all it. How can I pause this? I don't know how to pause. So I'm not pausing. Right, we are going to just pin in this. We're going to it is fiddly. I'm not going to lie, as they say in And, not sure from Barry in Wales. I'm gonna pin that. Once you have your corners, I think you're kind of good to go. And, I'm going to get another pin here. We're going to pin this. And now we are going to stitch in the ditch. So we are going to make sure that we have all of these tucked in very neatly. And I'm going to start here. We're going to carefully. Make sure that everything's tucked in, and we are going to slowly sew along the seam line. And go to this corner, so I'm going to take out the pin and hook. Oh, there's no pin cushion. Right. I'm going to pivot. Make sure everything's tucked in. And again, we can pivot easily if we leave our needle down. Take a little look. Oh, that's lovely. Look, it's all been cut in there now. Oh, step myself. Okay, we're not quite that fast. That's a bit brisk. Pin out. I'm going to take this up because but that's what we can look at now, is we can see that the edges are all nicely caught in. We have a nice seam and we have a nice mitered corner. So I'm going to carry on and do the rest of this. So put my pin back in and tidy up my corners. And that is how you put on mitered straight binding, which is always nice to know.